Hello, everyone. My name is Vincent Tepedino, and I am the Director of Transfer Admissions here at Rutgers University-Newark. What we're going to discuss today and walk through is the application process to Rutgers University for 2022. So what we'll start is with our homepage for our 2022 application portal. And the easiest way to get here is with our friendly URL, which is go.rutgers.edu/portal. Again, that's go.rutgers.edu/portal. Once you enter that into your web browser, you will be brought to this home page. Now, the community ID is what you'll have to create if you have never applied to the 2022 application system yet. If you have already started an application, you won't need to create a community ID. You can just enter your already existing credentials with your community ID. However, if you have never applied to Rutgers University or created a community ID with us yet, then you'll click on Create a New Community ID, which will bring you to this page. You'll enter an email. You'll confirm that email. Login instructions will come to that email address. And then from there, you will verify your information and enter the rest of your pedigree information like your name, so on and so forth. Once you've done that, you'll be brought back to this page where you can then click on Community ID and log in to your application. From there, you'll be brought to a home page where you can click on Start Your Application. Once you've clicked on Start Your Application, you'll be brought to a page that looks like this. Now, your page will look a little bit different than mine, only because in the interest of saving time, I've already entered some information into my application. However, what you might be seeing if this is your first time accessing the system is only the application selection page. And that's okay, because as you move through the application, more pages will come up as you complete the previous page. So under application selection, what's most important and where you'll start is with the type of application, which will be undergraduate. It'll ask whether or not you are currently enrolled at Rutgers, if you've previously enrolled at Rutgers, and if you've ever applied before. If any of these questions are yes, you will be brought to a different application because this undergraduate admissions application will only be for those students who have not applied in 2022. So this will be a first-time student enrolling at Rutgers, applying to 2022 for the first time. It will indicate what semester you're applying for, and will also indicate applicant type. So for today, we will be doing fall 2022 as a transfer student. From there, we bring you to the personal information page, which would be pretty straightforward. Name, date of birth, legal sex status, gender identity, phone number, which is important. We will allow students to opt into texting and receive texts from us with important dates and information, as well as permanent address. From there, you'll be brought to background information. Background information will be things such as citizenship, where students can choose citizen, dual citizen, permanent resident, non-US citizen for those of you who are undocumented and or studying under a student visa. We'll ask certain residency questions, which you will answer to the best of your ability. And then, of course, we'll also might ask some parent questions based on your age. Just giving you a little bit of overview of what this page looks like. We'll also ask demographics. Important to know that any question that has this kind of red highlight is indicating that it is a required field and will require an answer. We will also ask for prior U.S. Armed Forces status on the background information page. From there, you'll be brought to family information to discuss parent and or legal guardians, name, household information, educational level, background, so on and so forth. Most importantly, after all of that, you'll be brought to the enrollment information tab. Now you'll see the first two items there will be grayed out because that information was selected on the application selection side. And we've already made those indications that we are applying for fall 2022 and that we are transfer students. We'll ask for attendance status, matriculation status, whether you'll be attending to achieve a degree or not, being matriculating or non-matriculating, number of college credits, whether or not you'll have a degree prior to entering Rutgers. Should you answer yes, this question will pop up to indicate type of degree. Type of degree might be a number of different things, as you can see here with the drop-down menu. Degree month, year, whether you're a member of PTK or Phi Theta Kappa. And if you're coming from New Jersey County College, whether or not you are a member of NJ Stars. From there, we'll head into transfer program selection. Now, this will be one of the most important parts of our application, where you will indicate these schools that you are interested in within Rutgers University. Now, as you can see, only school first preference is a mandatory field. However, we certainly urge students to maximize their options on the application by using all three choices and applying to 3 different schools at Rutgers University. Now, this application will allow students to apply to Newark, New Brunswick, and Camden, a combination of any of the 3 campuses, or keeping a combination of 3 schools at one particular campus. For the purposes of today, we're going to choose 3 different Rutgers-Newark schools. You can see our first choice is the Rutgers-Newark Business School. We've indicated a primary academic interest of accounting. And you can see that you can indicate a secondary interest, but it is optional. But definitely want to take advantage of that as well if you have more than one interest within one school. So under school of second preference, we're going to choose a different school. We can choose Newark College of Arts and Sciences, which in terms of volume and number of students is one of our largest schools on campus. And you can see with that, there are a number of different choices within the Newark College of Arts and Sciences, and all choices are in alphabetical order. We're going to go with one of our more popular choices, which is biology. And you can now see you can also indicate a second interest for that school as well. So we'll choose something else like economics. Our third preference, you can see the number of Newark school choices will go down because you cannot select one of these schools more than once. So we'll have the remaining school choices and we will choose, let's say, the School of Criminal Justice. The School of Criminal Justice has 2 choices, criminal justice and justice studies. So we will choose criminal justice and then make our secondary option justice studies, just for the purposes of being thorough today. So now you can see that we have 3 school choices, all just happen to be within Newark. Of course, I did mention you can use this application to apply to New Brunswick and Camden as well. But we have chosen 3 different Newark school choices, which will in turn create 3 applications for you on our side, and we will review you to all 3 school choices. Do not worry about preference. We do not review based on preference, but students do tend to choose their first preference as their primary choice. This question will be pre-populated for you. It indicates and allows us to review you for other schools within Rutgers University if you are not admitted to any of your initial choices. Because you are a fall student, and those of you who are applying prior to February 1st, we'll see this question about our Honors Living Learning Community, which is a transformative honors program that requires a 2-step interview process. And if students are selected, then they will have an 18-credit minor within this honors program and be required to live on campus, which will be fully funded by the institution via a residential gap scholarship. So indicating yes here will do nothing else but put you in the running in the interview process for the Honors Living Learning Community. Should you be applying after February 1st, this question will no longer exist, as February 1st is the priority academic application deadline for that particular program. So we will click Save and Continue at this point if we're happy with our choices, which will bring us to the next page, which is Educational History. We'll allow that a second to load. Once that comes up, we'll be able to do a few things. The first thing will be to indicate our high school status. Whether you're high school diploma, homeschool diploma, GED, all of those options will be there. Whatever you choose, we'll ask some additional questions about when you received this particular credential. You'll indicate the high school or high schools that you went to if you went to more than one, start and end dates, and then most importantly, for the purposes of transfer students, the colleges or college that you went to prior to enrolling at Rutgers. For the purposes of our discussion today, we will use Essex County College as our prior school. In order to get here, what you will do is just start typing in the name of your school. Give it about a second or two for it to upload and load the potential names of your school, and then the drop-down menu will show here where you can actually select that school. For some reason, if your school does not show, there is the ability to indicate institution not found and type in manually the name of that school. However, any domestic college should be searchable here by typing in that name. From there, you'll indicate start and end dates, a GPA, number of credits, and then most importantly, you can see here there is an upload option where students can upload an unofficial copy of their transcript right here on the application, thus not only submitting the application when done, but also completing it with unofficial transcripts that can be used for admissions decisions. Should a student have gone to more than one school, like my test application indicates, you can also add additional colleges, and then of course add transcripts for that college. If you are a member of your EOF at your college, you can indicate yes there, with some follow-up questions that will come up. From there, we'll go to academic information. Academic information will be courses that you have taken in college and high school. You have the ability to indicate whether or not you are currently enrolled, previously enrolled in the prior semester, courses that you are taking or hope to take in the semester that is either coming up or hope to take in the summer, past courses that you might have taken while you were enrolled in high school. This is a state requirement to have these questions answered. And for students that maybe have the need to submit English proficiency, those who are studying under a visa or who are studying under via a foreign institution, you can indicate past English proficiency tests like a TOEFL or an IELTS or a Duolingo or any of the other acceptable English proficiency exams that we would allow. The last particular question here would be whether or not there was some kind of disciplinary action that we need to be aware of. If you indicate yes, this text box will come up. I entered the word sample text here, but students will indicate exactly what the issue or status is here. And this will be something that will be used in our application review. From there, the next page is activities and experiences. Most of the information here is optional, not required. So feel free to go ahead and fill it out. Employment history, any pre-college programs that you took part in. And then, of course, we have questions around COVID, knowing, of course, that COVID-19 pandemic has affected some students' ability to succeed academically. We want to know if and when you were affected by this particular pandemic, and we'll give you the opportunity to explain a little bit about that there. Supplemental information for transfer students is also something that is optional at the start. The first thing that you'll see is an essay, and of course, it will indicate that the essay is recommended, but not required for transfer applicants. So transfer students do not have to submit an essay. Should you be compelled to do one, of course, it will be something that we take into account when doing our admission review, but this is not something that is required of our transfer applicants. However, by scrolling down, these questions should be answered. Those 3 reasons why you chose Rutgers. I've indicated some very basic answers here. Our national rankings, via a visit that interested me in the campus, and the fact that Rutgers is close in terms of proximity to my residence. Once you've done that, the last step will be to submit the application. When you get here, if there's anything that is either incorrect or anything that you need to change, or if there are any errors or anything maybe that is required that you have not filled out, it will let you know that. Of course, everything here has a check mark for me. So we'll indicate, will you provide a social? I'll just indicate yes, this is a test social. You can click this button to see and make sure that your social is correct, which you would want to do if you have one, because we want to make sure that it matches for financial aid purposes. And then you will agree that everything that you've submitted is correct. And once you've done that, you will go ahead and click submit application. At that point, it will bring you to a separate page where it will ask you to either pay the application fee, or based on some answers, it might show you that the application fee is already waived. That application fee is $70, and it is required as a non-refundable fee for those students who wish to be considered for Rutgers University. At that particular point, that will be it for the application. We're going to log out. Once you submit it, it will bring you back to the particular page that we started with, which will be that home page indicating that you can start your application, although now you'll see a little bit different status on that page. It will say application submitted, and we'll have an application checklist. And that checklist will show you items that are required that may or may not have been submitted for review. So everything that you will do in terms of checking your status, following the entire application status will all be done on this page. I hope this is helpful. Again, this particular website is go.rutgers.edu. My name is Vincent Tapadino. I am the Director of Transfer Admissions here at Rutgers University-Newark. I thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to reviewing your application. Thank you so much.